In this video, I'm breaking down the messaging behind one of Les Brown's videos, and I'll also be breaking down how the editing played a big role in the influence persuasion of this video in particular. So let's get into it.
You will fail your way to greatness. Most people...
Well, I will say he starts off with a thought reversal headline. Most people don't think you're going to fail your way to success. They most, so he's already starting off with like a attention-grabbing, perspective-shifting sort of title or hook, so to speak. So one of the reasons why those are so impactful is because they literally are outside the realm of people's reality. So like our subconscious or the way we perceive the world, a lot of it's either on autopilot or we hear the same things over and over and over again, so we just think that it's true. But when someone says something outside of that bubble, it's like, whoa, it's like a pattern interrupt. It raises curiosity, like what's the point? What are they gonna say? Like, what do they mean? I don't get it, so I wanna find out. It creates that demand and the desire. So it's great. That's why I love thought reversals, is there's so many elements to why they work so well.
The ghost of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, and that you, for whatever reason, you never went after that dream. You never acted on those ideas.
And what he's doing here as well is he's also putting you into a consequence. He's putting you into a, hey, you don't have to succeed if you don't want to fail. That's fine. You don't want to be a success, and because you're too afraid of failure. Well, here's what's going to happen on your deathbed. It's putting them in a scenario that not only kind of backs up his original statement, but also puts you into fear, pain, consequence.
See, most people stop short of their dreams and park and get off the highway of life because of the rejections of life. You will always be rejected.
I just want to say something too like we talk about this inside the program our program a little bit, where it's like the psychology of the voice. So we had Tracy Goodwin come in and give us a talk about this, but it's not just about what he's saying, but the delivery and the tone and the emotion of how he's saying it is so impactful. I mean, I've never sat down and like really analyzed a lot of Les Brown stuff, but I'm like, he's an amazing speaker.
Rejection is a myth. It's not like when somebody says no and then they slap you. No, it's just, to make no your vitamin. Get excited about the no. Why? Because every time someone's...
So he's reframing what rejection is. This is a complete thought reversal on rejection. So he's coming in and he's stated like, realize people are afraid of rejection. And it's because of their mind, they view rejection as a bad thing. And he's actually reversing it and giving it coming at it from a different perspective to end that belief, to end that suffering. Because that's what people are doing. Because they have a fear of rejection, they suffer because of that, because they can't take the actions they want. And he's reframing and ending that suffering for them.
And I'm saying to you, whatever you got to do it, because if you don't, life is going to whoop you until you surrender.
So that was kind of interesting. That's what I would classify a little bit of connection. It didn't fully embrace what connection is, in my opinion, but it's pretty darn close. One of the things he's doing to kind of build that connection is, and how I look at connection is, you're saying things that you believe that the audience will also kind of rally behind or will stand with you on. And that's what he kind of did in that moment, as he started talking about, here's what's going to happen, and these types of people do this and that, and the people that aren't successful, they're not doing this, and this, and this, knowing that the audience wants success and will rally behind him a little bit on those things. So it wasn't really thought reversal, it was the opposite of thought reversal. Thought reversal is identifying the things that you want to go against, in shifting perspective, and then connection is really saying the things that the audience will already agree with you on, and that's basically what he did there.
If you decide to drop your buckets where you are and develop your gifts, I grant you'll never ever be without. I grant you that your gifts will take you places that will literally...
I just love this guy. I mean, I love specifically what he talked about there. This isn't an influence persuasion thing. I just really love what he's saying. It's like, and I think there's a level of mastery. This is what we're talking about, like, understand what your gifts are, have the consistency and dedication to master those gifts. And when you do that, you're gonna have a level of knowing that no one else will have. And so many people are like, I'm gonna read a book, I'm gonna get knowledge, and I'm just gonna regurgitate the knowledge, but there's no mastery of anything. There's no I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of people in the online space. They're trying to be experts, but they don't take the time to truly master their gifts, learn, test, implement, and just really understand it deeper than most people. And that's what I do with messaging is I really take a level of mastery that I don't think a lot of people do. So I just love that part.
Now the stakes are higher. Is this life saying, okay, Mr. Motivator, you beat cancer the first time. What you gonna do now? I started laughing. But the doctor told me, he said, why are you laughing? Are you in denial? I said, no. I said, I feel like Mother Teresa. He said, what do you mean? She said, Lord, I know you know how much I can bear. I just wish you to have so much confidence in me. I said, the stakes are higher. So I've got to dig.
What's interesting here is his outlook on life. He's thought reversing himself. He's shifting his perspective in different ways when most people would look at that as a victim mentality. They would look at it as poor me, why me? He's looking at it as like, I know you're giving me this because you know I can handle it. I just wish you didn't have so much confidence in me. He's looking at it as a very positive thing. And he's basically reframing or thought reversing a perspective on a very bad situation that is not normally how most people would look at it. Very powerful.
Again, and got to fight more because
and he did it through a story, which is a great way to educate without having to do step by step type of information.
In life every day, and what we have to do is embrace it. What we have to do is see it as a project to be worked on. In life, you will always be faced with a series of God-ordained opportunities, brilliantly disguised as problems and challenges. And so I see even cancer as a gift, as a God-ordained opportunity.
That's, I think, the most beautiful part of this entire video. I mean, it's something that we talk about all the time is, as someone who's seen success and seen really low moments, and of course there's people that have experienced lower moments than me, is you understand the gift of a really hard time because of the lesson gained, the knowledge gained, who you come out to be on the other side of that, the knowing that you now have that allows you to help more people and other people. It's beautiful advice, but it's also a little thought reversely because it's a completely shifting the perspective that most people have that causes suffering. Most people look at bad times, down moments as a bad thing, and it causes an immense amount of suffering in their life. And what he's talking about now, using stories, shifting someone's perspective on those down moments to actually be a gift and a really positive thing in your life and necessary for success.
If you die.
Which, by the way, goes back to the original point of the video, which is failure is what brings success. I think that's good. We went through a lot of stuff here and really powerful stuff. So even if you're just listening to me break down the messaging, you really need to go listen to his message because he talks about failing his way through success, but there's so many great points that he makes that really will shift your perspective to hopefully snap you out of failure. And I think that's big if we look at the overarching message and influence persuasion that he has going on, is it's a complete reframe of how most people look at failure. And the outlook that you have on life will determine the amount of success you have, and more importantly, the outlook you have on failure. If you can learn to see it as a gift, the more powerful you become. So that's the overarching theme, and we broke down the individual stuff here. Powerful video. I love him. I think he brings up a lot of really good points and a lot of great wisdom. But what I love about Les, and hopefully this is a message that you guys can take with you, is he speaks from the knowing. You know that he's not just reading like a self-development book and then just learning how to communicate it and getting on stage. He's living and speaking through the knowing. And you know that by listening to the script. You know this is someone who's speaking from experience, not someone who read a book. There's a level of mastery of the stuff that he's teaching. He's teaching from the knowing. And because of that, he's able to know where the person's at. He's able to know where you're at and how to flip that and reverse things on you. And yeah, great message. Love him. Okay guys, if you like this video and you love these breakdown videos, let me know by leaving me a comment underneath and let me know who you want me to break down next.